If you guys want to learn how to do real estate photography, then this video is for you. We're going to be going around this house and I'm going to be teaching you exactly how I do that and then a few little other tips and tricks. Let's go. Usually you want to take off your shoes. I usually ask either the homeowner or the agent, but when there's no one here, I go ahead and just take them off anyways. First of all, when you walk in, you're going to turn on all the lights. The next thing is you're going to open up all the curtains, let in as much light as possible. So that's really the two things that you're going to be doing when you're preparing. Right now, I'm shooting with a Canon EOS R with a 14 to 35 f4. You don't need a 2.8 to do real estate unless you're doing a lot of video production. But for that, I have FX3 with the Sony 16 to 35 2.8. For photos, any camera is good enough. As long as you have a decent lens that is sharp, that's really the main thing when it comes to photos. This is the bed row. I don't know what it is. I'll link it down in the description. This is an awesome head because you're able to adjust basically every single thing per degree and you can adjust on the fly. Goes in right there and you're good to go. Usually for photos inside, what I like to do is chest height, except in one scenario. When it comes to the kitchen, I do like to shoot a little bit higher than chest because you're able to show off the counter much better than, shooting lower. So we go ahead and adjust with these knobs. And there you go, that's green. And then you want it to be 90 degrees with that wall. Now you can't always do this, especially in tight spaces, but in an open concept house like this one, it's best to get these shots rather than just shooting from a corner. When it comes to smaller houses, then you do have to rely on shooting up against a corner. That way you can get as much of the space as possible. The next thing that we want to cover is the settings. Typically what you want to do is shooting at an f9. That way all of your photos are in focus. Next is going to be your ISO, and what you want to do is shoot at your base ISO. And then on top of that, you're also shooting brackets, which means that you're shooting 3 to 5 photos and then combining them in Lightroom. And I'm going to do a tutorial on that as well. So keep an eye on that video. Then we're left with the shutter speed, and that's what we're going to be adjusting. Now, this isn't the best example for a house because there is a lot of light in here. But when there isn't enough light at a house, you're really going to have to drop that shutter speed as low as 1/8 of a second. It's going to take you quite some time to get the shots, but you're still going to be able to get a usable shot even in an extremely dark room. So on my camera, I have 2 different custom settings, same as you can see, f9 at ISO 400, 5 brackets, and then the next one is the same thing, f9, ISO 400, and bracket of 3, as you can see there. So ideally for a house like this, I could probably shoot this entire space in no more than 20 minutes. So now we have our settings dialed in correctly. We have 5 brackets. As you can see, the inside looks perfectly fine right here. But if I click on the window, it's gonna be overexposed by 3 stops. What I like to do in this scenario is I lower it to where the outside is overexposed by only 1 stop. And this is gonna allow us to capture the outside exposure just right. So we'll go ahead and take the photo. As you can see, the overexposed shot exposes the inside perfectly, and then when you check your underexposed shots, it's gonna expose the outside just as great. So that's really how you do the high contrast when it's dark inside and there's a lot of light coming in. That allows you to expose for both inside and outside. How many photos do you get per room? So kitchen, you want anywhere from 4 to 7 photos. In the living room, depending on how big it is, you want anywhere from 3 to 5 as well. For dining room, you want maybe 1 or 2 of that. Each room, you want at least 2 photos. Typically, I like to get one of the entrance. This is a really nice shot in this house actually. Restrooms, for the master, you want around 4 photos. When it comes to smaller restrooms, typically I get 1 or 2 photos as well. And then for the master bedroom, you want anywhere from 3 to 4 photos depending on how big it is as well. Any spare rooms, you only need 1, at most 2 photos if they have like a washer and dryer that comes with the house. In total, we like to deliver anywhere from 50 to 70 photos. The limit for the MLS in our area is 40 photos, so they have an extra 20 to 30 to kind of play around with. If they don't like them, they can remove them. They only get to pick 40, but we give them a few extras so they can choose the ones that they like the most. All right. What the no, don't shoot it.
Everything just went wrong right there.
Anyways, a few tips for shooting in a restroom. First of all, you want to make sure the toilet seat is down. Please don't leave the toilet seat up. Second of all, take out the garbage can, leave it outside for a little bit. This one doesn't have curtains, but typically, depending on how dirty, close the curtain. If it looks nice, I'll usually open it, especially if there's like textile tile that's textured and it looks nice. I usually open it to showcase that. Sometimes I even get a detailed shot of that, but for shots like this, obviously there's no curtain, it's clean, it's nice. at least make sure to put down the seat to the pooper.
To the pooper.
You want to be close enough to the door that this doesn't show, but also wide enough that you show enough of the room. So here I get 2 shots. I get one angled typically toward the sink, and then the second shot that I get is you get in the bathtub. So this is the second shot that I typically get in a restroom. If it's clean enough, I get in here, might as well, and then I do a straight out shot that way.
It's gonna be me in the shadow.
All right, and that's it. That was what, like 3 minutes?
Yeah.
All right, always remember, there's no shades here. Close all the shade. Make sure to turn off all the lights. Make sure to lock the door. I've made that mistake. I locked the key inside the house, and then I had to call a locksmith. Let's go. See ya. We still need an outro. Let's go.
Is that the outro?
I don't know.
Good.
Oh, we're recording?
Mm-hmm.
I can't see the light. Oh, I see it now. I forgot to tell you guys about the outside of the house. I get 1 shot at 35, zoomed in. It looks nice and clean, and then I back out, I zoom out, and it showcases the yard much better. So, and then once you are leveled, go ahead and put your tripod as high as possible. Take the shot. I like to get 6 shots of the outside, so 3 in the front, 1 on each side of the house on a traditional house like this one, and then 2 or 3 in the backyard. This one really doesn't have a backyard, so we'll just get 1 or 2.
And what's the reason you always want to do the timer on the tripod?
Oh, we didn't talk about that. Thanks, Sammy. So when you press the shutter, you're going to shake the camera just slightly, but it's going to be noticeable, especially at really slow shutter speeds. So I like to put a timer on my camera. That way you can press the button, stand back, and then the camera is going to sit still for a little bit and then take the shots. Especially in the slow shutter, there's going to be 0 motion blur, which is what you want to avoid. Hey, my shot.
I didn't even think about that.
So sometimes you're going to run into the scenario where you just can't really shoot the backyard because there is a giant tractor in your way. So really just do the best you can to avoid it. All right, and lastly, we are doing drone.
What drone are you using?
Today we are using the Mavic 3 Pro.
I've seen you go through so many drones. What made you go with this one?
Well, this one isn't crashed yet.
Oh, tell them the story about your first drone.
So I got my first job when I was in 8th grade. Yeah, I bought a drone, 500 bucks. It's a lot for a kid, right? Anyways, I bought it, super excited, took it out of the box, put it up in the air, and I hit a wire. I used it for like, what, 4 minutes? Whoa. This
Fuck, I thought you hit the other wire.
I'm done. Thank you for watching.